الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى جل جلاله وعم نواله، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا الحبيب المصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه نجوم الهدى قادة التقى. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد: فلا وربك لا يؤمنون حتى يحكموك فيما شجر بينهم ثم لا يجدوا في أنفسهم حرجا مما قضيت ويسلموا تسليما. صدق الله العظيم. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يكون هواه تبعا لما جئت به، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. وصدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. My respected elders, brothers, mothers and sisters, being given the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the deen of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us tremendously with His deen and requires from us complete submission to His deen. It is not a hidden fact that there are aspects of this deen which may not fit our logic and our understanding. But the fact that we have submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala demands from us that we accept it the way it is and we practice upon it. We find many examples in deen which logically do not make sense to us. Whether we understand it or not, what is required from us is complete submission to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many times we have elders in our family, when they reach a certain age in their life, they demand certain things, they ask for certain things, they request certain things which makes absolutely no sense to us. But we fulfill those requirements and those demands and those requests because this will please our elder. And it pleases us to know that our elder, our grandfather, our father, our mother has been pleased. It gives us a feeling of contentment. But this exact feeling and this exact aspiration has not or does not necessarily many times translate into our deen in terms of our personal practice. A person uses the washroom, a person breaks his wudu, impurities come out from a certain portion of the body, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering you, perform wudu, wash 4 parts of your body that have nothing to do with impurity. Absolutely no connection between the two. Yet this ablution and washing these 4 parts of the body will purify you from the state of impurity you are in due to the impurity coming out of your body, which is a complete different part of your body. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala requires from us, demands from us, that being the creator, He ought to be worshipped. What is the form of worship? We take time out, we prostrate, we bow down, we do sajda. What does this have to do, or how does this please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How is this a form of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is the demand, this is the request from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, therefore we fulfill it. Whether we understand it or not. The situation today has become such, the environment, the culture, the idea is, something makes sense to me, I will accept that, I will understand that. If something does not make sense, I will try to justify that. I will try to justify that. Again, this is not the translation, this is not the definition of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam mentions in a hadith, La yu'minu ahadukum, the hadith I quoted in the beginning. Some ulama have considered this to be authentic, some have considered to be somewhat weak in narration. However, it is strengthened by the ayah of the Qur'an which I recited. Coupled with that, the message that this hadith gives is absolutely proven from the Qur'an. And the message that is given is, a person cannot be a complete true believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until this person does not follow or does not make his desire subservient to what Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam has brought. He does not make his desire follow the path of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Lima ji'tu bi, that which I have brought, yani Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And this is supported by the ayah of the Qur'an. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ. Allah swears by His being that a person will not be a believer حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِيمَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُم. O Messenger of Allah, when they come to you with their situations, their problems, and they come to you for their solution, ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ. And you decide, you make a decision, and then they do not find any fault, any objection, any eyebrow raising, any point of criticism in your decision, then this person will be considered a believer. If they were to find something in your decision, if they were to object, if they were to have a question, why this, why that, does not make sense to me, I don't understand this, is this fard, is this wajib, is this sunnah, then this will become a means of problem and trouble for this individual. My brothers and sisters, let's keep this in mind. This istilah and the terms that we have in our deen, where we classify actions, fard, wajib, sunnah, this is merely for our understanding of the position of this action. They equally need to be fulfilled, equally important in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There was a quality in the Arab. The Arab had this one quality in them, particularly certain Sahaba radiallahu anhu. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. O Allah, strengthen Islam with either Abu Jahl or Umar radiallahu anhu. There was a reason why Nabi alayhi salam particularly mentioned these two individuals, and in particular Umar radiallahu anhu. He had this very beautiful quality in him that when he believed something, when he submitted to something, he was absolutely 100% in support of that. And this was his reason, this was his cause of being such a staunch and strong enemy of Islam prior to him accepting Islam. And he was so strongly against Islam prior to him accepting Islam. Because in his mind, in his belief, what was happening was absolutely wrong. Therefore, he was fully committed to his mission in stopping this. But once he realized, once the truth set in, and he fully understood the truth from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his full submission, full strength was in supporting this deen. Whether he understood it or not. Whether it made sense to him or not. Once you have submitted that my Allah, this is my deen, this is my religion, He is my Allah, then what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will want from you is what you will give to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether it makes sense to you or not. Thereafter. Thereafter, whether it sets in or not. Whether it's logically understandable or not. So when we're told to dress in a certain manner, when we're told to look a certain manner, when we're told to do our actions in a certain manner, then this is a part of our deen. I witnessed something a few days ago which brought me to this discussion. We were in a masjid performing salah. There were a few brothers whose the rows were not straight. A brother directed them that please straighten your rows. You got two responses. One was a hand motion from the back saying, relax. We know what we're doing, we're fine. Number two, another brother responded by saying, Salli ala Nabi. Relax, just read Darul upon Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, we know what we're doing, we're fine. La hawla wa la. That is not the correct way. That is not the correct way. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, straighten your rows. Straighten your rows in salah. If you do not, يُخَالِفَنَّ اللَّهُ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create a rift between your hearts if you do not straighten your rows. We are instructed in the Qur'an to perform salah. Absolutely. Fard. Absolutely. Where are you going to find the method of performing salah? Where are you going to find the rakat of salah? Where are you going to find the fajr is 2 and dhuhr is 4? Look for it in the Qur'an, you won't find it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us, perform salah, absolutely, this classifies as fard. Will you now undermine the sunnah method? This is the classification for our understanding purposes, for our knowledge. Islam is such a clear deen, clear religion. If you were to take something and consider it greater than what it is, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is considered wrong. And if you have something and you lower it and you degrade it, this is also wrong. But in action, in fulfilling the action, equally important. So something will be considered fard because it's mentioned in the Quran. Something will be considered sunnah because Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam did that action. But for us, that action is the means to success. And there is no other way. There is absolutely no other way. This ayah I recited, I quoted in the beginning. The Mufassirin mentioned that this ayah was revealed regarding two incidents mentioned. I'll quote one of them. Umar radiallahu anhu, two people came to him. Two people came to Umar radiallahu anhu. There was a disagreement between a person who was a hypocrite and a person of another faith. They went to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Although although one of the defendant was not even a believer, they went to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, presented their case. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam gave decision in favor of that individual who was not upon the deen of Islam. The munafiq, the hypocrites, I don't agree with this. So the other brother said, okay, what do you suggest? Because let's go to Abu Bakr. They went to Abu Bakr, they presented the case. However, the brother from the other faith said, he informed Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu that prior to coming to you, we went to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This was the case, this is what he decided. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, hearing this, he said, the decision of Nabi alayhi salam is enough for you. Still, this person was not content. He said, no, I don't agree with this. Let's go to Umar. They came to Umar radiallahu anhu. This same conversation took place. Umar radiallahu anhu said, hold on, wait here. Went inside, got his sword, took care of the situation. This incident was brought to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Nabi alayhi salam was informed that Umar radiallahu anhu took care of the man. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, I'm surprised. Umar had the courage to lift his sword against a believer. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayah in the Qur'an, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Never. I swear by Allah. Allah takes an oath upon himself. I swear by that being, your Lord, O Muhammad. He is not a believer. He is not a believer. You made a decision, he refused it. He denied it. He didn't accept. He criticized. He raised an eyebrow. So when we're told, lift your pants up, when we're told, walk in a certain manner, when we're told, dress in a certain manner, we consider this light. This is not light. This is the teachings of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. When we're instructed, too much information, my brothers, too much information, an overload of information that does not translate into knowledge and ilm can become problematic. It can become problematic. Too much overload of information without the correct use, without the correct understanding, can become a problem for us. And ignorance equally, this overload of information without the correct use is equivalent to ignorance. So we may assume, we may think that what I'm doing is correct. What I'm doing is correct. One of the definitions of jahl and jahala, ignorance, is a person does something considering it to be correct based on the knowledge he has, but it's actually incorrect. That will be considered ignorance. My brothers and sisters, I address this to myself first. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give myself the tawfiq that we study the Qur'an and Hadith the way it ought to be studied. We submit ourselves to the desires, to the will, to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shown to us by the way Nabi alayhi salam presented to us. There is no other way around. Once again, I quote the hadith of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. None of you, any one of us, cannot be a complete believer until his desire is in accordance with that which I have brought to you, and what Nabi alayhi salam brought to us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to practice upon the true teachings, the correct teachings of the Qur'an and Hadith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to instill within us this ability, this quality to accept the truth when it is brought forward. Whether we like it or not, whether our parents agree with it or not, whether our children agree with it or not, whether our wives agree with it or not, whether our husbands agree with it or not. This is the teaching, and let us not justify that. Again, once we accept the truth, if we are fully committed to the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we will consider only the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lies solely in the obedience, in the method of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq.